And still, another player in his box, he doesn't care. He's fine with that. He's like, okay, you want to stay? I will take you out. You're good. And then moving into that game, this was probably one of his better games, but every single one was, because Zeke, he has a 10.2 average placement over 5 games. And I think out of the finals that we've watched, even in EU, that was unheard of. This is a little bit more consistent, a little bit more from Coop than we've seen anybody in terms of game after game performance.
And the thing is, he's been able to couple this with a handful of eliminations, right? Earlier on in the broadcast, Sundown talked about this. Placing high is so important, but you need the eliminations tied with that. If you're just placing high with no elims, you're not going to get that far. Coop has not placed out of top 25 in 5 games. Like, that's absurd.
It is. And for, you know what he's doing in the, like you saw it in the last bit of that package. Like, Sundown called it. Right? He said the players who can play with low materials, the low mat players, will end up being able to find that consistency, find that game after game conversion on points. And you saw it in that. Coop was literally 3 games out of the ones we just watched. The highlights from those was him ducking and diving between all the little old builds. And he always found himself not only elimination, but somebody with floppers where you could outlast and even find more paths to victory.
And a lot of that is just on the backs of confidence, right? You could see it in his play. You could tell Coop is finally firing on all cylinders. I say finally like he wasn't before, but he is. From the beginning, he has his eyes set on the prize. But with 1 game left, can he hold on?
12 points. That's the difference. With 1 game left, somebody has to show up, and it really looks like Class might be the only person to be able to do it, so we've got to keep our eyes on that duel, Zeke.
That's right. Viewers at home, make sure you're watching the elimination feed. We're following Coop. Can he hold on and be the new FNCS champion in NA East? It's time to get into the last game to find out. Monster D-Face, Aussie Antics, over to you.
And here we have it. The battle bus is underway, and $500,000 is on the line, laid out across this Fortnite world here. It's the last game, game number 6 of the FNCS NA East Grand Finals, and we're here to bring home all of the action. It has been such an intense 5 games, an intense 2 weeks of competition, but it's a question up to top 5, hold out and take it home. Will Accept do it? Will Class do it? Or will Coop maintain the strong lead? Aussie Antics, and the battle bus is already laid out. And take a look, our competitors are here. They're on the field already.
And they're ready to play. Someone has to pick up the pace here if they're going to catch up to Coop. And is it going to be Class? He's had an average elimination of only 1.8. He's been the slow and steady, consistent player. Does he stick to that? Does he stay slow and steady and hold on to maybe a top 3, top 5 second place? Or does he pick up the pace? Because unless Coop goes down right now, very early on, Class needs to do something different if he wants to take over the lead. Coop has put such a control in this lobby. I talked about it when we were watching Class. Someone needs to jump up and put the pressure down. Who is it going to be? And it's been Coop. It's been the story of Coop today, but a lot of other people want their story told. Booger, someone who's used to the limelight, catching up from behind, a position we don't often see him in for solos tournaments, but as you saw earlier with that statistic, he plays so strong in his final few games, and if you're looking for anyone to jump up and have a huge 2 strides, because we saw 1, it's going to be Booger.
That's right, Booger's already done it. Players like Young Pauk have done it as well, thrusting themselves up, as did Crims too. So these are all of our vets that are showing that they can still turn up in the final moments. We talked about players like Reverse who were able to do it as well, and that's what we talk about, the mentality from the champions, being able to step up to the plate when it matters most. Either way, though, there's a lot of action unfolding here. Here's the highlight from Class and how he picks up one of his first eliminations onto Slim from downrange. And oh my gosh, we get the shot from 2 perspectives there, Ozzy. That was disgusting.
We get the bystanders as well, sitting on the rocks, the little coral just watching out, seeing that unfold, and that was brutal. But it's another point for Class, and it's another point closer to Coop. We haven't seen Coop in the feed, so he hasn't gone down, but he hasn't got a limbs too. So Class is edging forward, and those kind of eliminations are the big difference as we see Crunchy here setting up a bit of an ambush tactic, and I'm not sure who is inside this house, but he knows they're rotating out, sets up with the AR. Can he get the shots to convert? And yes, he can. Cracks the shield off. Only has 1 mini in Lunez, who we've seen have a pretty rough day here today. World Cup solo qualifier himself, falling, not able to keep up with the pace. Unfortunately, something went wrong, and Crunchy gets a big refresh and a big jump up that he needed.
We're still going to give a big shout out to players like Lunez, players like Zlem, and all the other fallen competitors already here in the last game. Their last chances out the window now because they are still the best of the best. We're looking at the 100 greatest in the region. Players like Blake proving that they have what it takes, even as the newer up-and-comers, the stars that have been around. It's their time.
Hello? 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 Anybody? Anybody have a mic? Hello? Hello?